Phew, the battle is over, Master. I'm relieved that we pulled through again. Yeah, right. Thank God we had Marie Antoinette to just kind of sit there and hurl balls of love at people while she was invincible. You get head pats from Senpai. Yes, I'm happy that I can be useful. You saw that, guys. You saw how she totally tanked that critical hit. She's working hard out there. We should give her some Blaze Wisdom cards. Hey, Mash, is it possible that you can't use your Noble Phantasm? Oh, no. Apparently, I don't even know which Heroic Spirit I fused. Well, Heroic Spirit fused with me. You see, this is the problem. We need to actually continue going, leveling her, and it doesn't stop with the tutorial as well, but... Well, I'll save that for later. No spoilers. Though I am not terribly far in the game anyway, so we're gonna run into blind territory fairly quickly here. And I'm unable to use the power of its, special arts. The Heroic Spirit's secret weapon, known as a Noble Phantasm. Why do you have to say that to her? She knows what a Noble Phantasm is. Showman Senpai, I'm sorry for explaining this so late. She's a dud. Oh no! More endearing feelings coming out of my soul. However, I am a sane man, or rather, an informed man. I've seen romance and romanticism. I know what the game is trying to do to me. I will not fall for it. I will not falter. I'm a wizard with no sense of right and wrong. You can't sway me with your love. Servants are equipped with a unique skill called a Noble Phantasm. It's derived from each hero's legend and great deeds, and is a secret weapon. Again, I explained this to you. It's a special attack. However, I am unable to wield my Noble Phantasm. Yep. Can't actually use it even if we fill her gauge to maximum, which, well, we haven't been able to do yet so far anyway, so it hasn't really mattered. I can somehow use it as a weapon, but its output is decreased. I can't even release its true name. You see, this is the fun thing about Noble Phantasm that applies to a lot of other things of the servant's, particulars. For example, her shield is the representation of her Noble Phantasm, not necessarily the power or the skill itself, like, in itself. So it can also be a physical item, it could be a physical item, like, for example, Excalibur itself, and it could also be a special spell or something else like that, not necessarily just the attack. So that means you can play with all sorts of shit when bringing up people from history. Like, well, another fun thing where this game gets very creative. Charles Babbage is in this game. The Great Steam Lord. What is he? He's a giant robot. I'm not making that up. I hope I get him one day. In fact, I don't even know what the origins of this weapon of mine might be. It's a really big shield. Probably the writing has something to do with it if you turn it around and read it, but I can't actually read whatever the fuck moon runes that is anyway, so your guess is as good as mine. In any case, you can think of me as a failed servant, or maybe just a capable Kohai that can get even stronger. Yes, right, you're a Chia pet, Mash. We're gonna have to tend to you and help you grow. We'll take care of Mash. I don't have any leads on the Heroic Spirit that fused with me, but with you as my master, I'll figure it out as I grow. Okay, so we're just gonna feed her XP cards and she'll eventually turn into a fully formed person. That's true. Masters have the ability to analyze their servants' parameters, skills, and matrices. Showman, as a master, once you become good enough, you should be able to analyze Mash's servant data. Any servants you make a contract with from this point should be the same. First, you need to learn their true name and Noble Phantasm, which you get immediately. As your trust with them grows, your servant's power will grow too. This is what the bond thing is for. However, it doesn't actually unlock anything aside from all the way at the end. Each servant has a special crafting essence that you can equip on them, which gives you certain bonuses in certain areas. However, fortunately, that means you have to get level 10 bond, and you saw how slowly the bond thing is moving. with Elizabeth, so this is going to take a while. And in the meantime, you don't necessarily get anything out of it aside from extra voice lines for your waifus. But, in a way, that helps you feel more attached with your waifus. It's an adventure, guys. You're supposed to, well, you're supposed to let the waifus, well, become attached to you. However, remember, don't fall into that hole too far. Keep your sanity. Well, it's not like you have that much potential in you. The fact that you can't use MASH that well shows that. Well, hey, fuck you, Elizabeth's doing pretty fine, and what we call in for support every game is pretty okay. I can make friends. I don't need to use MASH that efficiently. I can just call in some fucker who has Gilgamesh and he'll win everything. See, he'll even do it for free, because he's a narcissist. Once we get Chaldea's race shift capability back online, we're going to shift a first-class master here. Already trying to replace me. Then you're fired. Newbies with no combat experience can spend their time terrified in some corner of Chaldea. But I'm getting combat experience, bitch. I have a head injury, but I'm figuring this shit out. Right, Elizabeth? Right, I'm doing alright. Where did she go? Fucking hell. Never mind. Weren't you the one scared? I wasn't. Not in the least. You should be respectful to your elders. You don't look a day over 25. Anyway, I'm glad you two understand each other better now. Let's move before any more of them show up. Alright then, there we go. Oh, we got a box. What's in the box? Alright, we get these. We didn't get a St. Quartz this time. What we got was a bunch of XP stuff. And this is the part where the game was expecting you to actually siege into or rather, learn the XP system. So what we're gonna get is a lot of Embers of Wisdom, which are all going to go into MASH now. So, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them. And we got this one way the fuck down here. So before that, we're just gonna go into the ants really quickly. And MASH is down here. She can go up to level 30 maximum. So we're just gonna cram all of these in here. Oh, it actually, well, down here. Gonna get MASH up there, and we're gonna give her 2 of these. That should be sufficient, right? That should get her up to, well, level 16. Yeah, we need more. 1 more? 18. Okay, how about another one? 20. All right, good enough. Like I said, we're still in kind of a chancy position here with no level 5 servant. Or rather, no 5-star servant to carry us through this fight guaranteed. But we'll work it out. See, now you hit relatively as hard as, well, Elizabeth. And I think you actually have more hit points. I need to actually check that. No, actually she's slightly worse. Oh, well. You'll get there eventually, MASH. But, okay, so. Now that we've got our 2 frontline servants relatively leveled, this should be even more of a breeze. Alright, investigate the church ruin. Alright, so who else are we gonna pull in here? See, oh look, it's Professor! Or Zhu Liang, or Waver, as some other people know him. This is... okay. I'm just gonna explain really right off the bat here. If you get this guy, if you start playing this game and you roll the gacha and you get this guy, you are set for fucking life, because he is the best support character in the game. Why? Well, I'll show you why. As soon as we actually get into a game, or rather, into a fight. Everything's burned down as far as the eye can see. There aren't any traces of residents either. What happened here? Lots of shit. What could even, well... alright. What could turn even Chaldea gray in the first place? If we can't see the future, that means humanity will vanish. Could that mean the counterforce doesn't work in a singularity? Then a place like this, then this place is like a bolt. Sorry, reading comprehension. The fatal choice of destruction scattered throughout human history. When your choices become mistakes, this is what happens. This is a bad timeline, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like the director is talking to herself again. This could take a while. Hey, showman, looks like it's safe over there. Why don't you rest for a bit? Well, okay, fine. We'll rest in this hellish, blasted wasteland. Take in the sights here. The dead buildings, the burning embers filtering through the air, the bright fires in the distance. Kind of reminds me of Belgast in a way. However, Belgast was more calm and sedate. The buildings were still there and destruction was still ripe, but it was snowing. I like snow in my destruction. I agree with you, Doctor. Senpai, would you like some rations? Yes, please. I'm out of Pocky right now, but, well, if you have any, please give me some. How about you, Mash? Tired? Are you asking me if I've been having any problems since I became a servant? Yes, that's exactly what I'm asking. You doing all right there? You are running into a fight beating the shit out of things. Well, for the most part, it's scary to fight, but I'm doing fine otherwise. Well, ain't that great. Good, you see those XP cards, they're doing all right. Are you okay with me being your master? Of course, I think you might have been the best master this summer. See, doesn't that make me feel special? That's enough rest, we have incoming! Oh no. Master, your commands, please. Go kill those things. I leveled you up. Time to get to work. It wasn't for free. What do you think I am? Alrighty then. Now, unfortunately, I still can't really amp Elizabeth's noble phantasm terribly hard here. However, this is where Zhang comes in. Now, let's see here. Tactician's advice, A+, increase defense for 3 turns, apply incoming damage cut 3 turns, and slightly increase the noble phantasm gauge for all allies. Starting to see where this might be effective. Alright, and his first skill, increase critical strength for 3 turns, and NP gauge for 1 ally. Starting to see where this might be useful, in addition coupled with Mash's abilities, which I haven't actually been using. Increasing defense, which stacks. And then Wall of Chalk, which implies invincibility to one ally and increases their NP gauge. Well, that's 50% noble phantasm without actually having to fucking do anything. Ain't that fucking great? Alright, well. If that's not all, Professor also has many other talents, as you will soon see. But what we're going to do here is going to put an arts card in there. And then, fortunately, we can't triple arts. And Elizabeth is resistant to that. However, Professor got that shit handled. I should have deployed Professor first to take that out, but you know what? We can be inefficient here. Mash is only going to take a couple of arrows. It doesn't matter. Also, turn that on. Okay. Well, those cards had some effect. However, well, we still need the Professor here to, well, basically back everybody up, which is what support is for. Other people get lucky, and then we use that. Okay, so these guys are starting to have a significant amount of health. However, we're probably in the best situation anyway. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hone in on the, well, actually, the Professor's gonna knock that shit out instantaneously. So, oh well. But we need to set up an arts chain here. Thud. But unfortunately, this puts Elizabeth attacking the saber again. Oh well. much 0 damage. Yeah. How about them buffs, ladies and gentlemen? They all just kind of fell apart now, but you see why this might be a good thing to have. All right, well. Doesn't look like we can do anything else, which is unfortunate, but oh well. And we're done. Once again, still couldn't get Elizabeth's Noble Phantasm charge, but, well, at least we've got, well, if we can pull a professor in here every time, we'll be okay with that. We'll eventually get it. Eventually. We just have to get lucky with our arts cards. Or, you know, pick up a kaleidoscope at some point. Right. Yes, send a friend request to that man. Okay, another question here. Can we pull in another... plenty of Gilgamesh is running around. Hey, look. Alright, so let's try that again. Though it is being as difficult as I imagined getting Elizabeth's Noble Phantasm actually charged. She's a really fussy star. Altair just kinda, well, Altair has, I have Kaleidoscope on Altair, so she basically just immediately starts with the Noble Phantasm. It's hilarious, and it basically means I walk through the vast majority of the fights that I encountered. Unfortunately, we haven't been that lucky yet, because the gacha only favors once. Be aware of what you want. Anyway. Phew, thank goodness we managed it yet again, Master. You thought we were going to fail? We can't fail, I'm here. Alright, I see you're getting used to being a servant. Is it because now that you know what we're up against, you're not afraid? You're not afraid anymore? I don't know about that. No matter how good I am with my weapon, when it becomes a battle itself... Well, when it comes to battle itself. Sorry, let's talk later. 3 of you need to get out of there now. More interruptions. I'm still picking up something, and this is... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What is that? A servant is here. Oh boy. Don't fight it, Showman, mash. It's too soon for you to fight servants. Well, I'll have you know I can handle this. I have some experience. Even so, we can't escape. Oh no, we're cornered. I'm not actually panicking. Mash, prepare for battle. It's a servant. You can do something about it, right? Yes, I will do my best. Oh, it's only Medusa. She'll be fine. I'm sorry, a shadow servant? We're not supposed to know who it is. But it's Medusa. Okay, so, let's beat the shit out of her. Should things go horribly wrong, at least we have Elizabeth here, and she's going to be invincible this turn. So at least she'll weather basically the worst of this. And plus, Mash is there to absorb a shot. She'll be fine. Look at all those defensive buffs. Okay, now we're ready to actually kill people. Thank you for waiting. But also, it's a writer, and she's resistant to casters, which is what Professor is over here. So, unfortunately, he's not gonna do all that much damage, but I'm gonna try and, well, play with this a little bit, so maybe we can get get the result that I want. It just still does 1,000 damage on a hit. Sucker. Oh, sorry, Professor. Oh, that might be a problem. But, oh, look at all those arts cards. However, unfortunately, she's going to be dead. This is really a shame. Alright, well, you do that, and then she'll do that. At 90%. So goddamn close. She's gonna be dead, though. You see? You got it! But now the fight's over! Oh, no. Oh, fiddlesticks. Oh, our daily mission's unlocked. There are daily missions, and also we'll be going into that section for, well, we're gonna be going into the daily section for a lot of grinding as we go, but I'll save for that for when we're actually out of the first singularity. Uh-huh. Making small progress. Oh, wow, 5? 5? When did they give 5? I only got 1 when I did this the first time. When did that change? But these are, well, rider pieces. Well, they have one of these for each class. Ascension material, a piece signifying the rider class. You need this for skill and ascension points, or rather just, well, I think it's just ascension that uses this, but I think skill uses some of it as well. And what ascension is you see that Elizabeth can only get up to, I believe it was level 40. In order to actually increase that level cap, you actually have to ascend them, which means that you have to throw crafting elements at the servant in order to actually raise the level cap. And you can raise it to a maximum of 100 overall. However, there's some special things you have to do in order to get all the way up to 100 aside from ascending. I'll explain those as we go. It might take a while to get to all of that shit. But, well, I hope I've impressed that there's a lot of shit going on in this game for just a mobile game. And it can be it can have a bit of a head-crushing depth sort of effect with a lot of this stuff. It's kind of easy to get overwhelmed and kind of walk around clueless, not knowing what the hell you're doing. I hope that listening to me ramble is helping out a little bit, but there is a fan-made wiki for this that's been, well, it's on the Japanese version, but it's the same fucking game, essentially. There have been artists hard at work compiling data for this game, and the wiki's not exactly 100% accurate, but it's a good start. Friend requests. Yay. Okay, we won. I wasn't sure I didn't stand a chance. That's a weird way of using the expression. But we actually won. I wasn't sure we stood a chance. That's what that is. Didn't should be in that sentence. Come on now, guys. I'm not exactly the master of English speaking language. However, when you just read this shit out loud, it doesn't necessarily work, does it? Sorry, there's no time to rest, Mash. A similar signal as before is heading that way. I don't have to tell you what you need to do, right? Yeah, now we need to run. What? The same signal? No way! Showman, retreat, hurry up! We've got to get out of here now! We'll just keep fucking walking off into the goddamn distance. St. Courts, 1. See? We're slowly compiling this shit. We'll very, very slowly be able to actually, well, soothe our crippling need to roll the gacha machine for prizes and waifus. Okay. As you see, once again, there are other quests here, and I will be doing them after we finish this shit off. Okay. So what else do we have here? Assassin, huh? See, what's good against assassin again? Well, it's caster. Caster's good against assassin. Do we have a professor in the building? No! No, we do not. Alright, fine, we'll just take Marie again for giggles. So we can dance around Invulnerable. And unfortunately, as you've seen, the support is randomized, so you're not actually going to have the same people to call upon over and over again, which is unfortunate. However, well, it lets you try out other servants and see which waifus you want. And there are people who actually reroll their accounts multiple times in order to get Juliang. I don't blame them. However, well, rerolling to me, well, not that I don't not that I hate the idea. I understand why people do it. However, I like to play. It kind of when I reroll like that, it kind of removes the what's the term? The sort of sentimentality of the Hands of Fate here. Yes, the gacha is an evil bitch. However, when you get something good out of her, that's yours. And you can say the dice gave you it. Fate gave you that. Fate gave me these waifus, and that's why I hold them near and dear. I actually like systems that really, like, give out things, like, through random chance like this, which is why I enjoy this game so much. Not necessarily just because it's waifus. Waifus does add to it. However, like, but as I was saying, I play this shit Iron Man. Okay. Oh, for God's sakes, what's happening? Why are servants here? Well, obviously there was a Grail War. I see, a Holy Grail War. A Holy Grail War was going on in that town. We just explained this. Normally, it wouldn't be a battle royale amongst the 7 servants summoned in Fuyuki, but something's gone terribly wrong. I'm not surprised there's a servant without a master. It's natural for servants to target other servants. As long as I'm here, we'll be targeted by other servants. Well, you know, and Elizabeth and everybody else I've got in the tackle box back there. You're not the only one, Mash. Come on now. But Mash has nothing to do with the Grail. That's just a wandering phantom gone mad. Uh-oh. I found it! New prey! The Grail shall be mine! Well, hello, cursed arm, Assad. Hassan? Right? That's what that is? Right. Servant signal confirmed. It's an assassin class servant. I can fight it. Senpai, please give me your orders! Go hit him really hard with your shield. Win! Win at all costs! Okay, now we have yet again another servant fight. Unfortunately, we don't have Professor, so I can't actually get even close to Elizabeth's noble phantasm. I'm somewhat disappointed now. However, well, now we have Marie Antoinette to dance around like a moron. Uh-oh. What does Charmed do again? I don't remember what the hell that actually does. But I'm assuming he's stunned, essentially. He's stunned by the, you know, by the legendary beauty of Marie Antoinette. Ah. Now, excuse me as every other woman back here sharpens blades and readies swords. Okay, now we beat the shit out of him. Okay. And Marie has a brave chain. Well, we gotta do that. Even though it's resistant, because, you know, Rider. Oh well. Not gonna do all that much damage, though. Also, it looks like... Hey! But like I was saying, Starboy over there, or rather, yeah, the guy who owns Marie Antoinette actually accepted our friend requests. Because now you can see we can use her noble phantasm. It actually charges. Okay, so. Oh, well now Mesh has a brave chain. We'll use that to, well, its greatest effect. And he was stunned. Since he didn't attack that turn. Ooh. Ew. Good work, Mash. However, I'm sure Elizabeth is sitting down there pouting that she didn't actually get to do anything. Oh, God. Yeah, vive la France. Ha 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 ha. Mm-hmm. Right, didn't get anything shocking or amazing, but, well, money's money. And we do actually have a lot of money here. Alright, how about that? Swipe. This is a waste of time. I could have handled this on my own. Uh-oh, that's a problem. Mash, you might want to run. Showman, they've caught up. There's one more. That's their main force. Oh no! 2 shadow servants. I might actually take significant damage now. No way, we're losing to one already? And now there's one more on the way? We weren't losing. We had that fight pretty in hand there. Let's finish this Lancer. I don't know what kind of heroic spirit that is, but I will have her head. Violent types. I don't get what's so funny. Director, MASH, hang in there. You've got to keep moving. Shut up, Fox. That guy likes to laugh a lot. He's quite the comedian. Damn it, they both let fear get to them. Give your order, showman. You're the only one... You're the only one calm now. Well, that's kind of, well, disturbing. Fight him! Understood. There's no other option. Ah, futile. Fight, then you die. Run, and you still die. The demise of the futile. Oh, so miserable. You see, the choices don't necessarily matter, but, well, I made a decision to punch the asshole in the face before he killed me. That's good enough. Go ahead and struggle. Miserable people are ever so entertaining. Wow, you guys are a bunch of fucked up, you know. Oh, yeah, you're not exactly the best characters here, are ya? You're not exactly very welcoming. Then again, well, this doesn't really shock me. I have Elizabeth Barthery back there. You ain't got nothing on her. Fight? Are you serious? We don't stand a chance against something like that, right? No, we're fine. Hell, let me get my cell phone out. Let me speed dial Gilgamesh. He'll be here in like a minute. Even so, we must fight. I will find a way for us to get out of here alive. Ha, you just killed yourself, girl. No, I think we're pretty okay. I thought you were just some girl, but it looks like you've got some fight in you. Then I can't leave you like this. Who is this mysterious man? Ah, who are you? What do you mean? Can't you tell? Don't tell me the mud got in your eyes, too. Who is this mysterious man in his very, 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 very bright coat? It's definitely not Tuxedo Mask. That's what I was expecting. Alright, this time an NPC servant is available for support. Select it right away. Yes, sometimes during the campaigns you will have guest servants to choose from if you didn't actually, well, want to choose any of the other clearly superior and more powerful servants. However, you do get an assload of friend points from doing this, so good enough. And it is Cucullin Caster, who is, he's okay. Curse you, Caster. Why are you still siding with a wanderer? Well, why are you siding with a wanderer? Huh? Because it's better than siding with you guys. And hey, I don't mind the brats with some potential. Young lady, be ready for a fight. Don't worry, you're good. You can turn this around if you just pay attention. Right, I'll do my best. Hey, boy, are you her master? Then I'm leaving the orders to you. Yeah, right, yeah, I'm a caster class servant. They don't really like me right now. Oh, yeah. Not like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but for now you can trust me. Well, he seems like a pretty okay guy. In honor of the brave young lady there, I'll form a temporary contract with you and fight as your servant. Oh, look at us, moving up in the world. Servants are throwing themselves into our arms to be our master. Well, for us to be their master. Oh, well. Uh-oh. Well, there's two of them now. Fortunately, still can't amp NP as hard as we could. However, with a caster here, we're gonna have a lot of arts cards. So, well, let's take the chance here and see if we can actually do it. So, let's see here. What's Cucullin got? Increases critical strength, 3 turns. Increases debuff resist, 3 turns. For himself, because he's a self-invested bastard. And also he gets evade, which is essentially just as good as Marie's skill of becoming completely invincible. There are attacks which can thwart this, however, well, under most circumstances, the attacks are just gonna sail by. Right? You're gonna be doing this a lot. If you have the skills, there's really no reason not to use them, and they're free, they don't cost anything, and they don't take anything up. So why not deploy them? Unless they're situational, which, well, I haven't really run into very many that actually are. Right, so. We want to make sure that Elizabeth gets the most arts that she can out of this shit. Okay, 57%. Not bad. Evade. Invincible. See, you were trying. The only option was to attack Mash, but you fucked it up. Good job, guys. Alright, so. More arts chains. Well, as much as I can get because Elizabeth only has one fucking arts card. I have to wait 3 turns for it to come back again. However, we actually might get her Noble Phantasm this time. Oh shit. Whatever the fuck that didn't work. Ow. Well, Mash can take one on the head. She is fine. She's resistant to sharp objects. Alright, so there's that. Actually, critical last. She's not gonna get it. Ooh. You okay over there, Liz? Yeah, well, Mash has already got holes in her. Oh. Oh! Oh, now you fucked up. Now you fucked up! Well, this is gonna be a little bit, well, unnecessary. But, well, now we actually get it, because I forgot. When you actually take damage, you actually get Noble Phantasm gauge in return. Well, now you screwed up. So let's see what Elizabeth's Noble Phantasm is like. Uh-huh. Is that a stereo system? Oh my god. It's sound-based. Maybe she is my waifu. Wow. Well, she raises a giant castle sound system and then makes the enemy, well, blast them with bass. Wow. Now you see, I like musical gimmicks, so that hits me in a very special spot. Well, it's kind of funny too, just on a side note. When I played the game, when I started up the game originally and rolled the gacha, I got 2 servants. I got Elizabeth and Hercules. However, I was fucking around with the game and trying to get it to actually record on the PC. This is before I got emulation working, and also they turned off emulation for the first week of the game because people were abusing it to to re-roll accounts. And they turned it back on again, and people just continued re-rolling accounts anyway. But at least I can record it now. But I kind of screwed up the phone and, well, kind of screwed up what was going on, and I thought in my troubleshooting, because the game wouldn't start after a while, after I started making adjustments to actually get the phone to record, I couldn't actually start the game. And one of the things that I did was I uninstalled the game, which, unfortunately, well, torpedoed my account. So I lost Hercules and Elizabeth. However, when I reinstalled the game, I got Hercules back, and I also got fucking Altair, which is a 5-star servant, and I got her twice. Which, well, now that we have money, I can actually show you why doubles are good for servants. But, seeing as I've made yet another account for this, and Elizabeth is the one the system gave me, it's sort of funny in a way, because, well, she actually is the gacha-given waifu. She was supposed to come back. Or rather, well, maybe she just wasn't finished with me yet. Alright, well, let's move on, shall we? See, this is the fun sentimentality that you can use. And also, wow, they do give out 5x of those. Jesus Christ. Originally, they just gave out 1, if I remember correctly. But yes, this is the sort of sentimentality you can get into with this shit. I drown in a puddle of this shit, and I make it up as I go along. This is how I entertain myself, and I hope I'm entertaining you as well. But, you know, not everyone is as, you know, brain dead and delusional as I am. I entertain myself fairly easily. Some say too much.